What would it take to slow these guys down?
Well, to be clear, I think from an investor point of view, they're delivering exactly what investors want. And as long as that goes on, the stock's going to be fine. To me, the question is the policy one that all of us as citizens, that our government has to ask, which is, should there be some limit on what businesses can do when the actions of that business affect public health, democracy, privacy, and competition? And, you know, we're wrestling with that right now, and the government's getting its gears moving, but it goes slowly. And until I guess it's going to need to get a lot more momentum behind it before investors are going to pay any attention at all.
So if you were just a strict portfolio manager in tech, you'd probably be long here, right?
Oh, yeah.
And would remain so.
It's been a fantastic stock, and there's no immediate reason why that won't continue. The challenge, I think, is that the level of pressure from Washington is going to increase. I mean, yesterday we had 3 different government agencies in the headlines, right? We didn't just have the Federal Trade Commission. We had the Department of Justice initiating something new, and we had the Securities and Exchange Commission. And the thing is, with the DOJ and the Securities and Exchange Commission, it may not be entirely civil actions we're talking about. And that raises the stakes dramatically. So I think if you're a portfolio manager, you have to look at this with some degree of caution that you didn't have previously.
But at the same time, Facebook is down 7% over the last 12 months, while eBay is up 20. So one could argue, I mean, granted, it had a spike about a year ago. I think over the past 2 years, it's still up less than 25%. But given how other tech stocks have done over that period, Facebook has kind of underperformed. One could argue that it hasn't been a great stock, and even given the issues that they have.
And John, I think the real point that you're making here is that the issues that are coming to Facebook right now are not unique to Facebook.
No, I'm just saying Facebook might still be argued to be undervalued relative to all of tech, even including those issues.
Either that, or we're going to see the actions of the government relative to Google, Microsoft, and Amazon affecting those stocks in a manner more similar to what we've seen already at Facebook. Because I don't think this is a Facebook exclusive problem. They have Cambridge Analytica. The other guys didn't have that really bright, shiny light. And there's a film out just yesterday on Netflix called The Great Hack that really delves into that I think is going to increase pressure. But at the same time, I do believe you have at Google all kinds of regulatory issues on the horizon.
It feels like what you're saying is everyone is reacting to what they're doing, but what if all of a sudden lawmakers get proactive, or do you believe that that's just not going to happen? Because that could fundamentally change their business models.
From your lips to God's ears, as far as I'm concerned, because I spend a lot of time in Washington, and the thing I can tell you is inside the Trump administration, both the Department of Justice and in the Antitrust Division and the Federal Trade Commission are doing things that their counterparts in the last 2 administrations would not have even contemplated. That is a huge change and really deserving of great praise. Inside the Congress, on both sides of the aisle, you now have very strong advocates. So you have this unusual thing of a massively polarized country, yet here's an issue that is bringing everybody together. And by the way, justifiably. I think, again, I am an activist, but I'm trying to argue for having a conversation about this, for getting the full information on the table. The issue that Facebook is going to be wrestling with next, which I think is going to tip over into the other guys, are the issues of the Securities and Exchange Commission relative to advertising. And, you know, exactly what is going on there and what are the implications of having had fraudulent user accounts or manipulation of users, and what does that imply if the company bought or sold stock during those periods? There are going to be investigations of those things, and we'll have to see what happens. But from an investor point of view, you have to factor that in now, because that's not like a maybe. We're at the beginning of that.